Welcome to the Vibez podcast, your one-stop shop for all the latest tech news.
Hello everybody and Happy New Year, and yes, it's the return of Vibez. I've had a lot of people reach out to me for the past year saying, what's going on with Vibez? We really enjoyed listening to it. We really enjoyed listening about the latest tech news updates and your thoughts on it all. And as the year went on, I just thought 2022 was a great time, great period to bring back Vibez and to give you all the news tech updates as they come at the end of the week. But I thought I'd probably move this slightly so it's something that you would hear on a Monday instead of on a Friday to kickstart your week. And yet the last 2 years has been interesting, to say the least. The pandemic has been something that has really grinded a lot of things to a halt. Our lives have changed because of it all. But I just hope to all of the listeners out there and to the watchers, because this is now being recorded on a video, that you're all keeping safe. And, the past 2 years has been okay. I know it has been challenging, but we're going to kick off this episode of Vibez with the update from CES 2022. So that's the Customer Electronics Show that they do every year. And I thought it would be good to share with you some of the items that really caught my attention and to give you my views on what I thought of it all. So the first thing that I'm going to kick this off with is the first product that I thought that was really cool at the CES show, which was the Orcam My Eye. Now, the Orcam My Eye is a device which you attach on your glasses. And basically, it's an AI small device that you put in your glasses that looks at what you're looking at and is capable enough to read the text, able to read out to you what the text says. And it's been improved. I mean, the Orcam My Eye was released a couple of years ago, but they've put more technology in there. They've got more microphones, more powerful processors, and it really does help with somebody who might be struggling with their vision or may not be able to see something properly, or they just want something to read out to them. Ideally, it's for the vision impairment, but it's a really cool tech. It has some magnets and they fit on any side of the glasses. So glasses that I'm wearing, I could just put it on the side of my glasses and it will be able to read out what I'm looking at. So if you're looking at a newspaper, basically you can look at this piece of paper, you can tell it to scan, and as it's scanning through, you can say, right, just kind of point to what you're looking at and say, what does this say here? And this will actually read the text out aloud to you, obviously what it says. Now, if you're watching it on the video, you can see the woman just literally just looking at a newspaper article. It's kind of the AI tech is narrowed down on that area and is able to read back that text to them. Which I find is absolutely amazing. I mean, this kind of technology really helps people in terms of, getting around, being able to read signs, being able to read stuff which they weren't able to see properly, and this technology can only get better as AI tech gets better and camera technology gets better. So really exciting to see that technology is being used to help. I've always been a big, huge advocate for technology helping, our daily lives in the most positive way possible. And this is definitely one of the ways. I mean, to have something this small that you can clip on and it can help you out, I think that's a really, really cool technology. And I hope that we do see more and more of this kind of technology come into the mainstream that could help people navigate, around the world, no matter whatever the scenario is. So that is really cool. And I'm really excited to see this get better over the years. I mean, it's already amazing as it is. Now, the next thing for all of the network and Wi-Fi nerds out there, One of the big things is that we've got a new Wi-Fi standard, which is Wi-Fi 6, that gives you faster speeds and better range. We have Wi-Fi 6E, which brings in the 6 gigahertz radio frequency, basically meaning that you get really fast wireless internet connection. Now with the 6 gigahertz, what happens is it's not strong enough to go through walls or as many walls, but in the area that you're in, you could probably end up with a connection that is far more quicker than some wired connection. So really, really exciting tech. Now, TP-Link have taken this technology one step further. And what they've done is they've actually created a wireless router which has these antennas which actually move. So what happens is that this turns on, you might have your phone, you're moving around your house or the room with your phone, and one of the antennas would automatically move in the direction, ensuring that you always have a strong signal to whatever device that you're using wirelessly. This is a really, really interesting concept, and I'm really excited to see where this goes, Could this be one of the ways to eliminate Wi-Fi weak spots where the antenna moves to where you are to give you that slightly better connection? I personally still feel that a Wi-Fi mesh system works really well. And if you're wondering what that is, basically it's like a couple of, you have one main router and you have some satellites, and there's a dedicated connection to the satellites, and it gives you that kind of that coverage of Wi-Fi that you need in the property. But they can be quite pricey. So if there's something that somebody can build where it can be just centralized, but clever enough to shoot those Wi-Fi signals in a particular area, I think that's really cool. I mean, we are all working from home, or the majority are working from home or working hybrid. One of the pain points is internet connectivity and Wi-Fi weak spots, and you may be forced to sit in a particular area of a room, or you can't sit in a room that you like to sit in because the signal might be weak. All of these kind of things are being looked into, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I mean, I think it's only better for, these tech companies to look into ways of, how can we improve internet connectivity where you are. 5G is a big thing, and I've been talking about that many times. We can get 5G connectivity, but, they can be quite pricey. You might have data caps. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes, but really, really excited to really see that happening. And like I said, it's more for those weak spots that you get, and really interested to see how TP-Link has actually tackled that. Now, the next thing that I want to say is Lenovo have going to release their new Z series of laptops. Now, these laptops, to me, I think look really, really swanky. I really like the leather look on top of it. But the big thing about the Z series is that they're using the new AMD Ryzen Pro chipsets. And what AMD have said is that, and this is the key thing, and Apple really hit it on the nail, but one of the key things is they're looking to have a laptop that has the performance but long battery life. And I think for a lot of people that are on the move, or don't want to be plugged in all the time, one of the most important things that people really want is a machine which can just last the entire day. And AMD have really been making strides in that front. Now, the ThinkPad Z series, what I like about the design is that unlike what Apple have done, where they have a notch on top of the screen, what Lenovo have done, and some other people have also done that, they've actually raised the top of the lid where it has like a little lip thing on the top, so it just kind of protrudes a little bit on the top, but underneath that lip would be where the webcam is hosted. So what happens is that the screen real estate isn't eaten into. Now, it will be interesting to see how good the battery life is on this. Now, I've had an opportunity to play on an M1 Pro and an M1 Max Apple MacBook, and the battery life on those are phenomenal. You can go literally the entire day without needing a charge, dependent on what you're doing. But on a daily, day-to-day usage, if you're not really going to push that machine, it can last. So I think the window space and those manufacturers will have to focus on what they can do to give you that performance. I think Apple are slightly ahead of the curve on that, and it's going to be very interesting to see how other manufacturers and vendors are going to really come back at Apple at that space. But the first thing would be that notch. Now, for me, I'm not going to lie. When Apple introduced the notch, I was kind of disappointed, not because of the notch was there, because when you use the device, you don't see it. It's literally something that you don't really notice. But I was really upset with the fact that it didn't have any facial recognition. Like you have this, and I believe the notch is fairly huge in my eyes. And not to have facial recognition in there, maybe that's a hint from Apple that they might bring in Face ID to a MacBook soon, but not quite yet. Maybe they want to work on refining that even further. I don't know, but I think we will be seeing Face ID very much like Windows Hello, and Microsoft have been doing this for a long while, where you can log into a machine via your face. And I, for one, have devices that have Windows Hello. I've actually got webcams that enable that. I love it. I just walk in front of the machine. It logs in for me. Don't need to use my finger. Don't need to use the keyboard and anything. It just recognizes me. So I'm really excited about that. And like I said, these machines are all using, the new AMD processor. Now, if you're watching the video of this instead of listening to the podcast, you can see the nice look on top of the lid. I really like that leather top. And it was really interesting to see that it's actually made out of recycled vegan leather. The packaging is renewable. And I guess that's one of the things we're going to see a lot more, where manufacturers are trying to be a lot more in that area to make sure that their sustainability is really up there. They're using renewable products. But overall, I think this machine looks absolutely gorgeous. They're saying, that it's light, it has battery life. And as you can see on the camera or on the video here, if you're watching the video, the lip that I was talking about. But the processor is the big thing. So a very, very swanky looking laptop. I really like the look of it. The performance should be good as well. Great specs. So something definitely to look out for on that space. Now, talking about laptops, there are other innovations that happened at CES. And one of the things that happened a few years ago is Lenovo actually had a folding screen, a folding laptop. Now, that stopped production purely because I think Intel stopped producing a particular chipset, which also affected the Surface Neo. Now, the Surface Neo is a device that I was really looking forward to. Not sure if that's going ahead or not. I have the Surface Duo, which is a dual screen device. I've got the Surface Duo 2. Absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic for work, where I can have like my messaging app on one screen, my emails on another screen, and I can look at two things at the same time. I know it sounds weird, but it's like having two monitors in front of you, but on a phone. And we're going to see more of these. We're going to see more folding devices, dual screen devices. But Asus has actually introduced a similar design to what Lenovo had, where you literally have a folding screen. It's literally an entire screen is touchscreen, very similar to a Samsung Fold phone. It's a large screen which you can fold in half, and you can actually prop it up. And what's so really clever about this is if you put the keyboard on the bottom half, it instantly recognizes that you've placed the keyboard on the screen and the bottom half, and pushes everything up to the top half of the screen, so it's like a normal laptop. It's going to be interesting to see how successful this would be. But it's called the Asus ZenBook Fold, and definitely I do believe, and I said many years ago, that folding screens are going to be one of the biggest things, and I believe it's still fairly new, but I think we're getting there. And I think I actually own the Samsung Fold 3 for a phone, which folds out in a tablet, and I absolutely love that device. And I'm torn between having two screens and one folding screen. I'm not yet in either camp, but to have a bigger screen it's difficult for someone like me to go back to a normal iPhone or a Pixel device because that screen estate has changed how I consume data, how I read data, how I do my work. The fact with the Fold 3, the folding screen, is I can actually write on that screen. So I can get this little pen, the stylus, I can scribble on the screen and it will write my notes. I mean, I'm really excited what you could do, and this could eliminate the need for having notepads or books or paper. And I really am keen to see where this is going to go in the next 5 years, and I think we're going to see more and more of it. Now, talking about folding screens and Samsung displayed their Flex S and Flex G double folding phones. So basically, you got a screen that folds inwards twice, and you also have a screen that folds in an S shape. It's really, really interesting. And if you have an opportunity to watch the video, do search for it. It's literally YouTube Flex S and G double folding phones is what you need to look at. I'm playing it on the video right now and just trying to get some better feed on here. And as you can see, it's really interesting how the screens are working. So we can see a demonstration on how the screen's being folded out into a bigger tablet and how it can fold back in. So, and then we have the other design where they fold on top of each other, etc. But foldable technology, like I said, and folding screens is going to be a huge, huge thing. And I think people are looking for something where they don't need to carry, a phone and a tablet or a phone and a laptop, things like that. So I do believe there is going to be a lot of things where people are just going to have one device. And I think I'm for one have been looking out for this vision. I've said a very long time ago that I envision a future where we would just have to carry one device. You fold it out, it's a tablet. You dock it, it's a laptop and a full-blown PC. And I think, if someone really hits the nail on the head, I think that really will be the way forward. Will organizations like Apple and Samsung really go down that route? Samsung semi are doing it with Samsung DeX, where you can actually plug in a USB-C cable or an adapter to have a HDMI to go into USB-C, and you can use your phone as a laptop. So my Fold actually does that. It's not as powerful as a laptop, but I can do what I usually do on a laptop on there. Will Apple follow that route? I'm not too sure. But Samsung have really been pushing that technology on foldable screens. Now, the one thing that Samsung has released for me that has really got me excited is a remote control. But it's a remote control that uses radio waves from your router to charge it. So if you've got a remote control for your TV, you don't need to worry about solar power. You don't need to worry about putting in batteries. It will literally use radio waves that's around you to charge the remote control. Meaning that this remote control will never ever run out of battery or power unless you happen to be in the middle of a desert island that gets no radio frequency. Now, it also has a solar panel on there just in case, but just imagine where this could go, right? Just imagine if you were able to put such a technology in a mobile phone, right? Where it is able to charge up your phone using radio frequencies around you, where it's able to charge your mobile phone from solar energy around you. Like, to use those kind of energy around us that we cannot see, and it's around us every day, and to be able to get that and to charge a device, I'm really excited about that. Could this be extended to charge cars, watches, whatever runs on batteries? Could we use this technology to help it, trickle up the power usage a lot more? I mean, we do have Wi-Fi signals and radio signals all around us. So really interesting to see where this technology is going. But for Samsung to release one in a remote control, really, really exciting. And again, a lot of great ideas on where this might be going. So really excited to see where this is going. But I never in my wildest dreams thought that somebody would be able to get Wi-Fi signals or radio frequencies around us to turn that into energy. So definitely going in that way. The next thing, I'm going to talk about cars here, and I'm going to talk about tires. So Goodyear have developed a tire which is made out of 70% sustainable materials. I believe that they had a goal to reach 100% by 2020. To get 70% at this point, I think this is amazing. To have car tires made out of, sustainable material. I'm just really excited about it. It has 13 different ingredients to make this tire. And, will be interesting to see if organizations like Pirelli, Continental, Bridgestone, whatever, if they will go down that route. And I'm sure they will. I'm really excited to see this come into motorsports. I'm a huge Formula One fan, and you see them burning rubber and changing, their tires and all of that, and obviously that has an economical, impact overall when it comes to the environment, the climate, and all of that. So to have something made out of that, very, very exciting times. And what more can we make out of sustainable material? If we're able to do tires, can we do other things as well? And I was watching stuff about plastics and how plastics are going into the oceans. They were talking about plastics in the Nile, and how it was really heart-wrenching. So, I'm glad to see more and more organizations going down into that route. Now, BMW, they've made a car out of e-ink paper where the car is able to change color. And it goes from, black to white is the color. It's the same technology that you see on a Kindle. Now, we are beginning to get colored e-ink out there. So, if you bought a car that has that technology, and I'm playing the video on it, if you're watching it, where it can go from, black to white, white to green or blue, can we now have a choice of what car color we drive just by deciding what clothes we're wearing? Like, I'm wearing a red top right now. If they have the technology go further, can I just drive a red car on that day? It is very interesting. Kind of a strange concept on having e-ink, but clearly there must be something that they're envisioning in the future. I'm kind of talking about having different colored cars, but where could this go? Could this be great for when it comes to motor racing? Do we need to print out stuff and stick it on the cars for to have the advertisements and the sponsorships? Can it just go on there via e-ink? Could you just have cars have free advertising driving around, or taxis saying I'm free but without lights, and you have this panel to say I've already carrying a passenger, or I'm quite intrigued to see where this goes. But it's interesting to see that a car manufacturer is working on something where it can change colors. Next up, Sony finally have revealed the PlayStation VR 2. Now, the Sony virtual reality headset was cool. You were able to play games. The quality wasn't great, but they definitely have worked on a new device, and it seems like this device, specs wise, looks amazing. It's very, very high density in terms of how many pixels you get per eye, and basically the more pixels you get, the more realistic and the more refined things look. It has a high refresh rate, so meaning it's very smooth. They have built-in tracking, and it has eye tracking, so quite interesting to have a headset where just imagine if you're playing a racing game and you're looking to the left in the mirror instead of turning your head, it will actually change your view in this headset as if you're looking into the mirror. Or if you're playing a shooting game and you're kind of looking to your right to make sure the right is clear, and I'm really intrigued to see how games are going to use this technology. But it's definitely interesting to see VR still a thing. It was kind of whittling out, but the fact that it's not quite whittled out yet, definitely interesting. So it's one of those things that has to be tried out to see how it works, and I'm more interested with the eye tracking, like how does that work, and how does it change your experience in being in a world outside of your world that you're in right now. So definitely very, very interesting in that sense. PlayStation, like I said, are going to release that soon. They're saying at the end of this year, maybe. I need to obviously come back to you all on that, but definitely looking forward to seeing what's happening there. Now, another cool tech from Samsung, and I truly think Samsung has been hitting it out the park, is the new Freestyle projector. It's a little projector where you literally can carry it anywhere. You point it at a wall and it will project what you want to project very, very cleanly. It doesn't matter what color wall you've got. It will identify the color and change the coloration of the screen so that it's perfect. So it doesn't matter if you've painted your wall pink, it will still give you a perfect picture. If you have another Samsung TV in another room, it will mirror that wherever you put this projector. You can put this projector pointing upwards. You can lie down and watch TV. You can put this weird cap on there, and the cap then turns the projector into a nightlight, weirdly enough, which I find really interesting. There's been videos where they put a projector on the ceiling and it's coming down onto a kitchen, and somebody's kind of looking at their cooking stuff, and it's a really, really cool piece of kit, which I think a lot of people might be interested in actually getting. I mean, it's apparently, I'm playing the video right now, has amazing speakers and sounds coming straight out of the projector, but it just has so much to this little piece of technology. And again, in the video, you can see how the projector is obviously pointing down onto the screen, and they're just literally screwing the projector in a light bulb. Like, I think what Samsung has done here is absolutely insane. I absolutely love this technology, and I would love to get my hand on one if my wife allows me to have it, which I doubt, because they've not really said how much this is going to be. But you know, to have a projector you could take anywhere, for work, for home, it will save a lot of space if you live in a flat where you can't really put a big TV there. It's just so many possibilities. So really, really excited to obviously see this, but it's a small projector. I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, it's called the Freestyle, Samsung Freestyle. Please do check it out on YouTube. It looks phenomenal. It looks great, and really, really excited to see what more there is to come from it. Now, Razer, the gaming organization, they're known for making, you know, gaming laptops, and they've made announcements of a new 15-inch blade, 14-inch blade gaming laptops. So if you're a gamer, you will be fairly well versed with their items. Now, one of the things that they introduced was a modular gaming desk. And again, if you're watching the video, you'll see the video playing, but it's a huge desk which has a massive screen. And on that screen, you can have whatever content, but the desk itself is modular, so you can actually customize what goes where. So you can customize if you want to have like a little tablet on the right where you can draw, or you can customize, you know, on the left hand side, do you want to see do you want to have like hotkeys, and, you know, this button does this and this button does that. And again, over voice, it doesn't do any justice. But if you look at the concept, if you look at the video, and it's called, I think it's called Project Sophia. And yeah, literally check it out. It's a crazy concept, but, you know, just imagine, you know, when you're working from home, you know, you no longer need this monitor, or you no longer need this desk. Or if you go to an office, you just walk up to a desk and your desk is literally your computer. No desktop machine, no laptop. You just log in and off you go. I am interested to see where this goes, and if this technology will go any further. But very interesting concept. I thought that was an interesting concept, and interested to see where that will go. Other gaming stuff, and I'll quickly go through this. They have a Razer Enki Pro chair, which can vibrate to the beat of your game. So, you know, if you've got let's say a racing game, you're driving over the rumble strip where it rumbles, your seat might rumble. Nothing really new here. Interesting to see that they're incorporating that. But is one of those things important? I'm not too sure. Does it give you that immersiveness? It depends. I think for some might like it, others might not. They might find it distracting, but definitely interested to see that go. I personally don't feel that's going to go anywhere. It's been tried and tested a million times, but let's see what happens in that front. Another thing, if you're a Surface Pro fan and you love the game, but your Surface Pro doesn't game because it hasn't been designed for doing that, Asus has released a Flow Z13, which is basically a slightly larger version of a Surface Pro with a decent graphics card in there so you can game on there. Personally, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think the future is streaming. I have Stadia, I have xCloud, and I've spoken about xCloud before. GeForce Now, with the 3080 graphics upgrade. Streaming is the future. And I honestly believe that consoles or buying a console will be a thing of the past. As the internet infrastructure is getting better, I think you can stream games. I've been able to stream games to my tablet, to my phone, directly to my TV without any hardware, directly from Microsoft or directly from Nvidia GeForce Now. They call it GeForce Now. I think hardware is going to be one of those things where it's great, but I think streaming is the future. And I think gaming is going to go down the Netflix path, where you go into one part, you choose the game you want to play, you just have a controller in your hand, nothing else. It's paired via Bluetooth to your TV or whatever device you've got, and you just play. And it's getting better and better. And I thought Stadia was fantastic at that. And it'll be interesting. It will definitely be interesting. And like I said, there've been so many other stuff coming out of CES. Samsung have released a huge monitor called the Odyssey Arc 55-inch. It really immerses you. It can go from top to bottom as well. You can go over your head, literally, the curve. Again, very interesting to see what they're doing with this technology. But what really interests me in how you can stack several windows on top of each other on this curve. And again, it's one of those things which you need to have a look into and to see how that works. So again, fairly new tech. You need to have a look into it and see how that works. So yeah, just see how that goes, how it works. But I think the multi-view options is the only thing that really excites me. But hey, a bigger curved screen, is that something that really interests you? It might do, it might not. And I'm going to end this on the last piece of tech, which I think is a lot more exciting. And they call it the Pari, and it's made by Dell. And what the Pari literally is, it's a small webcam, magnetically attached on the top. But you can take the webcam, off the top of the magnetic thing and put it in the center of your monitor. So instead of you looking up at the webcam like I'm doing right now, if you're watching the video, you can actually put it in the middle of your screen and look directly at the screen and look directly at the person that you're talking at. And it was an idea that, funny enough, my manager was talking about, like, how cool would it be if you could have a webcam in the middle of the screen? And I was talking about this technology again in the previous podcast about having under the display cameras. But what I like about this is you can actually take the camera off and put it on an arm and have the camera pointing downwards onto a product. So it's so versatile. I guess having the camera in the middle of the screen is a little bit distracting. It's a little blob, and I'm playing the video, and like I said, if you are watching the video, you can see what I'm talking about. But to be able to I think it's really cool that you could do that. You can move a camera, put it anywhere you want to put it. But I like the idea how they can put it on an arm where it points downwards onto a product. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a very interesting concept from Dell, and I'm very interested to see where that goes. I think under display cameras are still a long way off, and hopefully that will come soon. But yeah, those are the updates that I have. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Vibes. And like I said, I'm going to do this more often on a weekly basis to kickstart your week. But thank you very much for joining me. I've really enjoyed doing this podcast, and it's great to be back. What more can I say? And, thank you for all the love to all the people that reached out to say that they missed the podcast, they missed listening to it. And I miss doing it. I literally have missed doing it. So, hopefully I can do more of these in the future. So until next week, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead of you. And take care, everybody. And thank you very much once again to listening to my podcast or viewing it on the video. So take care. Have a wonderful week. And I'll chat to you all soon. Bye.